The 10-country Association of Southeast Asian Nations, or ASEAN Summit, kicks off this weekend in Malaysia. Expectations are high as the countries there continue to, well, move towards economic integration. Rian Maelzer has this from Kuala Lumpur.
It's ASEAN's least developed economies, Myanmar, Laos and Cambodia, that are expected to see the strongest economic growth, averaging more than 7% over the next 5 years, albeit from a low base. The region as a whole should enjoy fairly robust growth this year, despite slowing demand from key markets such as China and the EU, the high US dollar and low commodity prices.
I think it's a bright spot in the global economy. I think ASEAN as a region has been outperforming Europe and US and even China in the last 1 or 2 years. For example, the total FDI inflows into ASEAN last year exceeded FDI inflows into China. And I think that was indicative of a return of confidence, investor confidence in the region.
Among the bigger economies, the Philippines is set to do the best, growing around 6.5%. That's thanks to its large domestic market and inflow of remittances from its workers overseas. Most of the region is benefiting from lower crude oil prices, but Malaysia, as a net oil exporter, is seeing government revenue hit. It also recently introduced a new goods and services tax that could dampen consumer spending. Malaysia is still heavily dependent on exports and is facing the sharpest decline, from 6% growth last year to only about 4.6%. Analysts say that to ensure strong, sustained growth, ASEAN needs to continue liberalizing.
That needs to be intensified even further if the economies are going to be more self-sufficient in terms of the economic development, but also looking at some of the regional differences and how ASEAN can help close that gap. One of the big issues in the region is poverty. So what can the ASEAN community do in terms of education, infrastructure development, which is really, really critical.
Economists say that if ASEAN can create an integrated economic community as targeted by year-end, it will help the region to drive its own growth, reducing reliance on external markets and the risks that come with it. Rian Maelzer, CCTV, Kuala Lumpur.